Another headline making news today, and that's President Obama, who was in Florida over the course of the weekend, telling former U.S. service members the progress made to fulfill Veterans Affairs. Secretary Eric Shinseki promise of ending the backlog for disability claims by the year 2015 is promising, but still short of the ultimate goal.
The last time I was with you, I pledged to cut the backlog, slash those wait times, deliver your benefits sooner. And I'm going to be honest with you, it has not moved as fast as I wanted.
Joining me now, Tom Tarantino, Chief Policy Officer for Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. Tom, nice to visit with you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Before we talk about the changes to be made, I want to demonstrate the problem, if we can, very quickly and show some of these numbers. Though it is down from a few months ago, there's still a backlog of more than 500,000 claims for veterans. You can see 780,000 total claims pending right now. So it's some progress. Is that sufficient?
No, unfortunately it isn't. I mean, what we have seen since the spring is the VA has put a renewed effort from the White House, from the VA, from the veterans community, and from pressure from the American people to start producing and really produce rapidly. The reality is, though, if we're going to get to backlog zero, we're going to have to keep that rate of production for over 120 weeks, and that's going to be rough. So while we're doing better, going down from 70% to 65% isn't the end game.
You talk about doing better. What is working? What can we continue to replicate? What efforts are making good progress at this point presently?
Right. It's an interesting combination of things that the VA had been working on, like creating a digital claims process, bringing everything into the computer age, and also some new initiatives that the VA has done as a response to a lot of public pressure. Things like clearing out all the 2-year-old claims, mandatory overtime, looking at private medical evidence, and then having simple things like opening up compensation and pension claims examinations after work hours, so veterans don't have to take time off work. They can make their appointments and get the information.
As we look at the left side of the screen right now, you can see some of those people, the faces of those individuals who have been affected by this right now. That's from your Tumblr page. This past spring, veterans stormed the Hill. They showed how long they've been waiting for benefits. But you guys know that timing here really is critical for a variety of topics, among them suicides among veterans. The number by some recent accounts at 22 veteran suicides per day. What's being done to battle back on that challenge?
Right, and then this is probably one of the toughest issues that this entire community faces. There is going to be no magic bullet to solving the suicide problem, because it's not just about suicide. Suicide isn't the problem. Suicide is the end result of a string of failures in the medical community, in the healthcare community, in our transition services, and how we go from being warrior to citizen. So if we're really going to solve that, we have to do things like fix the disability claims backlog, make sure veterans know how to translate their skills when they get out of the military, make sure that veterans know that they have education benefits, and so that this transition from going from being a warrior to be a civilian is smooth, and that veterans don't end up in the place where they feel like they have to take their own lives.
Is it possible that the fact there are so many more of these claims demonstrate in any way there's better awareness within the military community that these more claims means that more people are at least entering the system in some form?
So part of that is the good news story, is that Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, about 54% of us use the VA, which is around 20% higher than any previous conflict. A lot of that is because we have extremely high survival rate on the battlefield, but a lot of that is also because the VA has been doing a better job at reaching out. But it's all about telling our stories. You know, at IAVA, we published The Weight We Carry, which is a website where individual veterans tell their stories about the backlog and about the weight that they have, so that they can get these stories out there, and people know that this, when we hear numbers like 500,000, it's not statistics, it's actual people's lives.
The president speaking out about this topic on this past Saturday. Of course, it's the month of August. There's only so many eyeballs that are paying attention to this. Are you guys satisfied with how the Obama administration has tried to create new efforts on this topic? You
know, what's interesting is that the administration has been very active behind the scenes. I know the president pays attention to this, but I'm paid to know that because it's my job. What I want to see is the president telling that veteran who's out there in the middle of the country, who's been waiting for a year for his benefits, that not only does he have their back, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. That's why it's so important that the president spoke out this weekend, but we need to see him use his profile and talk about it. IAVA, this whole month, we're going around to congressional districts around the country and putting faces to these numbers, where we're talking to members of Congress in their home districts all around the country.
We always appreciate you, Tom, helping us put faces to these statistics that are so staggering across this country. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Peter.
We appreciate it.